Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Today I'm going to get back on the F7. We're going to see if we can get this side cover buttoned up. I've got a couple things that I've thought about and looked, kind of researched a little bit, and I think I'm going to revisit those. It's nothing where we got to tear much apart, but just that neutral switch, I want to go back in there and put some dielectric grease in there, and the oil pump slash tachometer drive there, it shows, the IPB shows a shim in there underneath that, and when I looked at that I thought that it probably needed one. I don't have one. Evidently it was lost at some other time, or perhaps it may be a selective shim. I don't know. I have no idea what size it is. The only thing I'm going to do is see that that gear is rubbing right on the aluminum case, and I don't like that. So I just made one out of some stainless steel and made it at 10 thousandths thick. We'll just see, if it binds up when I put the side cover on, then we know we got a problem. But I think as far as rotating the tack drive and the oil pump, I'm not having any problem with the experimentation that I've done. So we're gonna just try it. It just doesn't seem right to have that gear running on that aluminum case. I don't see a lot of wear on there from running in the past, but like I say, I don't know when this thing was broke apart. I don't know what they did, except that I'm pretty sure they put main bearings in. I'm not sure whether or not the rod was changed or not, but the main bearings were like brand new. So I just cleaned those up and lubed them up good, put them back in, and they spin like a new one. So let me get you overhead here and we'll get started on this. Okay guys, I've kind of got you upside down here because I'm in a different location. I hope this isn't too kind of screwy, but hopefully you can see. Okay, I've got this back in. Like I say, I was experimenting a little bit with this shim. So let me just kind of show you what I did here. Right here, we had this gear running right on the aluminum case right here, and I just didn't feel that was right, so I spun out a washer. They're obviously not available anymore from Kawasaki. You could probably find one on eBay or something, but it's just that not that important. It's important that I think there's one there, but it's not important enough for me to wait on it. So I'm just I'm going to put it back together, and like I say, I've experimented a little bit with it, and I just don't think that there's any reason. This 10 thousandths seems to be good. The only player will be when we put the side cover on, if there's an issue there, but I don't believe so, since there's not a like a ledge or something on this shaft. It's just going to come through. We're going to stick the oil pump on it. I think it'll be okay, but we'll kind of monitor it anyway. So like I say, I made a 10 thousandths shim, put it under there, and we're just going to hope for the best on that one. Okay, let me see if I can get this back down here. All right, now the next thing I want to address, and I think I'm going to pull this off just because it'll probably fall off. I want to go back to the other side, and then I'll just kind of be done over there. I don't think anything. This might drop out a little bit. And of course now you can't see because it's moved over. Okay, this is what I was concerned about, and it's probably not a major concern, but I just want to address it. I want to put a little bit of dielectric grease in there. You know, that thing moves, and you know, the more it moves, it can actually wear this Bakelite cover. And that's another thing I was wondering about too, is I'm wondering if it should not have a gasket. You know, it's built so that it's got this ledge here on the cover. But you know what I think I might just do? Let me look here real quick. I don't know whether I ran that cover off. Yeah, no. Could be it's supposed to have a gasket or maybe an O-ring. I don't know. Let me do some research on that real quick and then I'll get back to it. Okay, yes it does. It's got a gasket right here. So of course I don't have one, so I made one. And that should fix it. I thought, well, maybe it doesn't have it because it's high enough where you're not going to have oil, but when I pulled this off, I already had oil setting there, but of course it's laying down. So let me get just a little bit of dielectric grease. And that'll lubricate that, and also will still make good contact, and that way we won't rub that area in there raw. Okay, so got my little gasket on there, and we're just gonna put that right back where it was. Only now it's got a gasket. So far I was missing the gasket and the shim. And we're not done yet. Okay, so I think we're done on this side until we need to deal with the sprockets on there. I think I've got a new one, so I'm not going to tighten that up. So now I'm going to go ahead and spin this back around, and we'll get back to the other side. Now, this shifter, the book tells me that I need to, it really doesn't show me anything, but it says that the spring and the eccentric, and I believe they even call it an eccentric, is supposed to be centered in this window, I think. And I just wanted to look. See, the Yamahas, you actually take this off and check your distance. And on them, you've got to be in second, third, or fourth. It can't be first, and it can't be fifth. You see, you need to be between two of these pins. Okay, where am I? Okay, that's first, I think. Yeah, that's first. Actually, it looks like it might work there, but okay, there's neutral. So I'm going to go to second. And you see, this is the way Yamaha does it, is they take and they want you to get this gap between this pin and this arm, or this catch, if you want to call it, and this pin and this catch the same. Okay, let's see if we can do that. I mean, this thing looks like it's kind of centered. I don't know. It's just the book is not telling me what or I'm not finding it anyway. Let's see. Yeah, you see, I think you can. You can see that moved a little bit, but huh. It's not moving. Just a little bit and then it quit. Let me tighten it up a little bit, see if that makes a difference. Yeah, it just moves a little, but it's not enough to get that even. I don't believe. Now, I don't usually measure these things, not even on the Yamaha. It's just a quick eyeball thing. But there's no way that's centered. You know, this thing looks a lot like the Yamaha. So let me go grab one. Let's see here. Let me just take a look here first. Oops, let me get that spring back in there. There we go. So I don't have to deal with it. Looks like I'm going to have to anyway. It's just not moving very much. It looks just like the Yamaha. I'm not so sure. It almost looks like it's been filed on. It's got a couple doodahs up here. Let me go grab a Yamaha and see what it looks like. Okay, there's the Yamaha. And it looks just like it. Maybe a thread, 2 threads at the most, shorter. Let me change it out and see if it'll do us any good. Yeah, you can definitely see the eccentric on this one side here. Same thread. All right, let's get this back in there. Kind of move it around here while we go through our seal so we don't bugger it up. Well, good Lord, it's better already. And it's just set in there. Let's see what we got. Looks like it's gone the other way a little bit. Let's see. Again, keep an eye on that. Okay, that's going the wrong way. There, see how that moves? That's how it's supposed to work. So that's about right on. About 0.157. You're probably upside down. So I'm going to go ahead and snug this up. Looks like it all stayed put. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think somebody, like I say, I can see a doodah, a couple of them right here where somebody beat on the side of it. But it almost looks like it's been filed on. Somebody probably thought that was not right, having it weird like that, but that's the whole purpose. Like I said, all I'm found in the Kawasaki service manual is to center and there's no picture of it either. They're just saying center the eccentric, this bolt, and the springs in the window here. But that just doesn't seem good enough to me, because you want this thing to be any way Yamaha does. I'm going to put it together. Let's see if we got all our gears. Okay, so let's get this puppy back on. And of course, turn that, so that is back to where it was in second. Okay, that's neutral. Okay, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to. This, a lot of times these gears don't want to shift when they're when things are laying on their side, but I'm going to try it. See if I can get that lever on there a little better. It's not really wanting to go. Let me see if I can get it on there. Okay, I'm going to try to go through this. I kind of need to hold down on this and turn this at the same time, but maybe not. Let's see. Okay, there's low. That's second. There's third. Fourth. And fifth. Yeah, this thing keeps wanting to move up on me. I don't think I'm in neutral. Where is that neutral thing at? There. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, we got all our gears. So I don't know whether that's, we won't know until we, obviously get out there and start shifting them, but they're there right now. And I was not getting any movement really per se out of this one, but as soon as I put the Yamaha one in, the fork started moving. So to me, that's how you should adjust it, but because this doesn't seem close enough just to look to see this, if this is centered in the window. But that's just me. We'll move on. I think we're good. Okay, let's kind of reverse what we did here. We removed the shim and the collar and the gear. Okay, and now we'll go over to the rotary valve. I've already got the pin located right here, and the collar is, we're going to push that down over the pin. Just going to clean this surface a little bit. You can see how this is kind of beat up on the end here. That's why I had to do what I did. Okay, so that's all the way down, and I put a little grease on the piece there, and we're going to put a little oil. This is Yamalube. That's what I'm using for two-stroke oil. And the pin is right here, and the mark is right here. So that should be our alignment. And we'll put a little two-stroke oil on this side too. And I've got a new O-ring and a new seal installed. And let's see, it goes probably just about like that, I think, doesn't it? Let me look real quick. Yeah, it has to. That's where the port is. Okay. Oh, I've got an O-ring that needs to go in there yet. Actually, let me see if I can find a new one. Okay, just it goes right here. I guess I could have put it on after that. It's always afraid that big tiny O-ring is gonna there. Okay. Looks good. And I've kind of got these screw holes marked. I think it's kind of rubbed off when I was doing what I did right there. There's a tightening pattern they want you to use. Yep. So let me get that screw and get my Well, we got 4, 2, 5, 3, 6, so that's got to be 1. Clean the screw back up. Okay, so they're wanting you to number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. All right, so we should be good there. Okay, we've got our key that needs to go in on the shaft there. I think that's good. So we should have our gear. Can't tell whether I'm lined up yet or not. Yeah, keyway's lined up. I did have to pull this off with a puller. Okay, let me find something. Yeah, let me find something here that'll work. Okay. There we go. Just a tight fit. And it's going to take... See, it doesn't show it in the IPB, but on... You can see here on the bottom, you can see the teeth of an external tooth lock washer. I don't have one that size, and I know the F5 I've got does have it there. So they must have had an issue with it, but there's not one on here. I was able to get one for the clutch, but that's not going to fit on here. That's for over here. So I think I'm just going to kind of wait on this. I'll just run this down, and I'm going to go to the hardware store and see if I can find one. And I may have one around here. It just takes forever to find stuff. All right, so I think we're ready to start working on our clutch. So first thing we should do is get a little lube on it, on the bushing in here. And I just want to double check this. All right. I'm sure that rolled out of there a little bit there. Okay, back in neutral. Let's see here. Get those straight up and down, these straight up and down. There. Okay, should have a washer, yeah. And this is where, I don't know, that I'm not going to be able to bend that up if I put that thing in there. See, it shows it. I think it did anyway. Yeah, because I ordered it. Not going to be able to bend the tab up if I put that one on. So I think I'm just going to go with this. I think the tab's going to give us more security than that. All right, let's find a socket for that. Yep, okay. And get my holder in there. Make sure everything's still free. Okay. So I'll go ahead and get that bent up. The place there is kind of hard to get up. Ooh. Let's see if I can find something else to get in there with. A little thinner. Yeah. All right. That should do it. Something fell down in there. Piece of dirt, it looks like. Okay. Okay, almost forgot to put the little plunger in there. Put that in. This is the one that we had looked like a valve before, out of a Briggs and Stratton or something. Okay, I'll put the rods in from the other side. One of them is kind of bent. I'm going to see if I can get one. If I can't, I'll make one, and it'll need to be case hardened if I have to go that route. All right, so we just need to get our springs and bolts in, and then we'll tighten up the crankshaft nut. No, I was trying not to do that. Those are really tiny bolts. Okay, we're out of luck on a washer, so we're just going back in with the one we got. I take my penny here and stick between the gears. All right. All right, so that's all done. I've got my check valve in here. I'm not sure if that goes there yet. Yeah, I believe it does. Okay, the case goes on, and I've got a new kick seal in, and I found a new intake. So I've got that installed already. Okay, I just put a little grease on the surfaces. I like to be able to reuse these gaskets if I can, and you know, if they stick, then they usually tear. I usually don't have any trouble with them sealing this way, so we're going to try it. Okay. And the same on the cover. All right. Let's see how all this goes together now. think it's just the dowel pins, but let me do some investigating. Yep, so we've got all, it was just that dowel pin hanging me up. So we've got our screws in. Got them all run down, I think. And we had our check valve in there, and we got everything tightened up, I believe. Okay, looks like our, let me get you off there a minute. Yep, looks like we've got our, everything's moving there. We've still got to get our pump in there. And I haven't tore this one apart. I don't know whether the diaphragms are busted on it or not, but we will be looking into that, I guess. And I bet you I need to have the, oh, I may have to take that off again so I can put the line through here. I'll have to go find that. Okay, I was able to get that on. I just unscrewed them and lifted it up a little ways, and I was able to push that back up underneath there. Now, let's see what we can do on, I think I lost a washer here. And let me see if I can find a washer. Okay, just kind of got a gasket on there. Try to get this under there. Is that where it's going to go? Yeah. It should be pretty close there. Okay. Make sure that thing's setting down. Looks like it is. Okay, so then we've got the banjo bolt that goes in there. Okay, so I think we're just about as far as we can go right now. Okay, we can just stick this on here for now. Okay, we can get our little intake on here. And I'm going to go ahead and get a towel in there. You just see me dropping one of those in there. Okay, I think we're just about as far as we can go. I've got to completely redo the magneto. I've got to put a new sheathing on. I'd like to clean all this up too, so that's a project coming up. And I've got a Kickstarter and a shift shaft. So we've got the hardware for the magneto and flywheel key, and flywheel of course, and the engine pump. This one here took a hit pretty good. I'm going to see if I can find one. If I can't, I'll make one. Here's the other one here. And what happened, it looked like, was you know, when they broke all these the dowel insert there and the threads. This is the cover. I'm going to go ahead and try to weld it, but I've got another one, so I'll be using it. But I'll weld this one up, see if I can do it. More practice, the better. But I do have this one here, so I'll be using it. I think it's for a later model, so everything fits on it except this dowel. The dowel for the one I'm going to use is a little bigger. So what I'm going to do is just make a sleeve that'll go over this one, and then just push this onto it. So that should work fine. So another stage of it's pretty much done. Feels good to get stuff put together. Okay guys, just wanted to try the shift again, since a lot of times they just don't work laying on their side, so I just wanted to double check it. We're in neutral here. There's our first gear. Neutral again. Second. Third. Fourth. And fifth. Fourth, third, second, neutral, first, and back to neutral. Yeah, we're all good. Imagine that. Yamaha part and everything. Okay guys, there you have it. Pretty much buttoned up the bottom end. I've just got a few little things to do, like say the magneto. I want to go through all that, clean that up, and get the new sheathing on it. I mean, that is just awful looking. If you do something like this and don't go in and try to fix that, it's never going to look very good. It's, you know, the new hardware, you know, I haven't even really painted this thing. It's just pretty much a survivor type thing that's been gone into and repaired. You know, but if you don't fix the hoses and the sheathing and electrical wires and clean all that grease and stuff off of there and not put new screws in, you're missing a real good chance to do a good job. And you know, like I said, I'm kind of this, at these times, I'm not looking at the nut and bolt stuff. The bolts and the screws that I use, I pick them up from Grainger. They're, for the most part, there's a few that I can't get there. But, you know, I'm not going to do the Kawasaki hardware and all that stuff. It's just too expensive to do that. I can buy a couple of screws from Kawasaki and get a box of 50 of JIS screws from Grainger for the same price. You know, so it's just not, you know, I would beg that you could tell the difference. I really, you know, other than it came out of a Kawasaki pouch. But I've even seen that over the years where you get screws or bolts or something like that that's in a bag from the dealer and it doesn't say Yamaha on it. So sometimes I wonder if they're buying them from Grainger, putting them in a bag and charging the Kawasaki or the Yamaha price or whatever, and you'd never know. But anyhow, I'll probably catch some flack about using a Yamaha eccentric in this Kawasaki. I don't know, it seems like the Kawasaki guys kind of take offense pretty easy. And I don't know that much about these things. I'm trying to make it work. I just happened to work on Yamahas and knew that looked pretty close. So I pulled one out of the bag that I had. Lo and behold, it's the same thing, except it's about 2 threads shorter, which will make no difference at all. But anyhow, we're looking pretty good here. The bike actually is built up pretty good. It's to the point where, if I remember right, we just need to kind of start working on the wiring and getting the gauges on and that sort of thing. You know, it's the frames build up, new tires and wheels, all that stuff is done. So that'll be coming up probably in the spring. You know, we're not too far away for that. And you know, I'm like I say, I'm kind of working more along the survivor and the freshen up mode these days. Just, you know, if I can do something and make it look pretty without too much work, then I'll do it. But this I think is really going to look good. I really do. So hey, thanks for going along on the ride, and we'll see you next video.